Emily Parker never imagined her tranquil afternoon at Greenfield Park would become the catalyst for a city-wide conversation about prejudice and understanding. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the playground, Emily sat alone on a sturdy wooden bench, her thoughts drifting between her upcoming school presentation and the gentle rustling of the leaves. At 17, she was a diligent student, passionate about environmental science, and often found solace in the quiet corners of the park where she could prepare for her presentations without distraction. Just as Emily was about to delve into her notes, a woman approached her with a determined stride. Maggie Johnson, a single mother known in the community for her vigilance and protective nature, eyed Emily with suspicion. Maggie had seen Emily enter the park earlier and felt something about her solitary presence unsettled her. Without hesitation, Maggie pulled out her phone and dialed the local police, her voice edged with concern. "I need to report a suspicious young woman here," she stated firmly, her eyes never leaving Emily. Emily's heart raced as she tried to maintain her composure, unsure of what she had done to warrant such attention. She glanced around, noticing a few curious onlookers beginning to form a circle around them. Little did she know, this moment would ignite a series of events that would challenge her community's deepest prejudices and reveal secrets that many wished would remain hidden. The first police cruiser arrived swiftly, its lights flashing a subdued warning as officers David Lee and Maria Ramirez stepped out. Their expressions were a mix of professionalism and curiosity as they approached Emily. Maggie stood resolute, watching as the situation unfolded, her anxiety barely concealed beneath a composed exterior. Greenfield Park, usually filled with laughter and the sound of children playing, now held a tense silence as onlookers began to gather, their phones out to document the unexpected drama. Officer Lee, a tall man with a calm demeanor, was the first to speak. "Ma'am, can you explain why you're reporting someone as suspicious?" he asked, his tone neutral yet probing. Maggie hesitated, her eyes flickering between Emily and the approaching officers. "I just thought it was unusual for her to be sitting alone here for so long," she replied, her voice wavering slightly, but maintaining a facade of confidence. Timothy Anderson felt a knot tighten in his stomach, his mind racing to respond. "I'm waiting for my friend Sarah. We were supposed to meet here after school," he explained softly, hoping to ease the growing tension. Officer Ramirez, the second officer, glanced at her partner before turning her attention back to Maggie. "Is there something specific that made you concerned?" she inquired, her curiosity evident. Maggie shook her head, frustration creeping into her expression. "No. It's just a feeling. I couldn't shake the thought that something might be wrong," she admitted, her defenses beginning to crumble under the scrutiny. Just when it seemed the situation might calm down, a familiar voice rang out from behind the crowd. "James Parker." A woman pushed through the onlookers, her presence commanding immediate attention. James Parker, Emily's father, and the esteemed mayor of Crestwood hurried toward the scene, his face etched with concern. As he approached, his eyes locked onto Emily, recognizing the quiet strength in her stance. "What's going on here?" James demanded, his authoritative voice cutting through the murmurs of the crowd. Officer Lee took a step back, sensing the gravity of the moment. "Mr. Parker, we received a report about a suspicious individual here," he explained, gesturing toward Maggie. James's gaze shifted to Maggie, who looked increasingly uncomfortable under his intense scrutiny. "Miss Johnson, can you elaborate on what prompted you to call the police?" James asked, his tone both inquisitive and stern. Maggie swallowed hard, realizing the severity of her actions. "I saw her sitting alone and felt something was off," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. The air around them seemed to thicken as the crowd held its breath, waiting for James's response. As James assessed the situation, a realization dawned upon him. "Wait a minute," he murmured, his eyes narrowing as he took in the details. "Emily, is that you?" Emily nodded slowly, a mix of relief and apprehension washing over her. The crowd gasped, recognition dawning on their faces as they pieced together the connections. Maggie's expression shifted from concern to disbelief, her preconceived notions shattered in an instant. "I had no idea," she stammered, the weight of her assumptions pressing down on her shoulders. James placed a reassuring hand on Emily's back, his presence a pillar of support. "Maggie, sometimes our instincts can lead us astray," he said gently, his voice embodying both authority and compassion. The officers, sensing the shift in dynamics, began to lower their stances, the tension easing slightly. The crowd, now fully aware of Emily's true identity, buzzed with a mixture of awe and embarrassment. Phones continued to record, capturing every heartfelt apology and genuine moment of realization. Maggie took a deep breath, her eyes meeting Emily's with newfound understanding. "I'm so sorry," she whispered, her earlier fears dissolving into remorse. Emily offered a forgiving smile, her resilience shining through. "It's okay. I understand why you were worried," she responded, her voice steady and kind. James stepped forward, addressing both Maggie and the onlookers. "This incident highlights the importance of not jumping to conclusions based on appearances. We must strive to see beyond our biases and foster a community of trust and respect," he declared, his words resonating deeply with everyone present. The next day, the incident at Greenfield Park dominated social media feeds, sparking widespread discussions about racial profiling and the dangers of unchecked assumptions. Hashtags like #understanding-over-assumptions and #CrestwoodUnity began trending, encouraging people to share their own stories and perspectives. Mayor James Parker held a press conference, standing beside Emily and Maggie, addressing the crowd with unwavering resolve. "We must learn from this and work together to eliminate biases that divide us," he proclaimed, his voice echoing the sentiments of many who had witnessed the event. Meanwhile, Maggie sought redemption by volunteering with local organizations focused on diversity and inclusion, determined to make amends for her actions. She attended workshops and seminars, eager to understand the roots of her biases and how to overcome them. Her journey was not easy. It required her to confront uncomfortable truths about herself and her perceptions of others. Slowly but surely, Maggie began to change, her interactions with neighbors and community members becoming more empathetic and open-minded. Emily, inspired by the support she received, decided to use her voice to advocate for change. She started speaking at schools and community centers, sharing her experience and emphasizing the importance of empathy and understanding. Her presentations were powerful, filled with passion and a sincere desire to prevent others from experiencing the same pain she had endured. Emily's efforts did not go unnoticed. She was invited to participate in panels and forums, where she connected with like-minded individuals committed to fostering a more inclusive society. Weeks later, Greenfield Park became the site of a community gathering celebrating diversity and resilience. A vibrant mural was unveiled, depicting children of all backgrounds playing together under a banner of unity. The mural, created by local artists and community members, symbolized the newfound harmony and understanding that had emerged from the incident. Emily stood proudly beside her father, her eyes shining with hope as the crowd cheered. The mural featured scenes of everyday life, illustrating moments of kindness, cooperation, and mutual respect. Maggie approached Emily, a genuine smile replacing her earlier sternness. "Thank you for showing me the error of my ways," she said sincerely, extending her hand. Emily shook it warmly, the gesture symbolizing forgiveness and new beginnings. Around them, community members engaged in conversations, sharing their own stories and expressing their commitment to building a more inclusive environment. As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the park, the mural stood as a testament to their journey, a beacon of hope and a reminder that understanding and compassion can bridge even the deepest divides. The event concluded with music, laughter, and the shared sense of accomplishment that comes from overcoming adversity together. As the community continued to heal and grow stronger together, questions lingered about the personal journeys of those involved. How would Maggie's path of redemption evolve? What other stories of misunderstanding and reconciliation lay hidden beneath the surface of Greenfield Park? The answers awaited, but one thing was certain: their collective strength and resilience would guide them through whatever challenges lay ahead. Emily's role in the community deepened as she took on leadership positions in various initiatives aimed at promoting diversity and inclusion. She collaborated with local schools to develop programs that educated students about the importance of empathy, understanding, and the dangers of prejudice. Her influence extended beyond Crestwood, reaching neighboring cities and inspiring similar movements elsewhere. Maggie's transformation was equally profound. She became a respected figure within the community, known not only for her dedication to her family, but also for her unwavering commitment to fostering a more inclusive environment. Her story served as a powerful example of how individuals could overcome their biases and contribute positively to societal change. Maggie often reflected on that fateful afternoon, recognizing it as the turning point that led her to become a better person and a more empathetic neighbor. James Parker, the mayor, used his platform to advocate for policies that addressed systemic biases and promoted equality. He spearheaded initiatives that provided training for law enforcement officers on implicit bias and community engagement. Under his leadership, Crestwood saw significant improvements in how its residents interacted and supported one another, fostering a sense of unity that had been previously lacking. This story serves as a powerful reminder that our actions, driven by assumptions or understanding, shape the world around us. It encourages us to look beyond the surface, seek empathy, and build bridges of communication and respect within our communities. Thank you for listening. What did you think about Emily and Maggie's journey? Have you ever experienced a moment where assumptions changed your perspective? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories and reflections. If this tale resonated with you, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom for more inspiring stories that illuminate the human spirit and foster meaningful conversations. Together, we can create a community built on understanding and compassion. See you in the next story.